I messed up last week or last episode and said that was chapter 8 or episode 8. See, I'm already messing this one up.
That's okay.
anyways,
We're
anyways, I'm
professionals.
Landis. I'm Landis, and I'm joined by my two wonderful hosts, Chan and
Hi,
Noah.
I'm Chandler. Hello.
Hi,
Did you
Noah.
forget who I was?
If you're this far into the podcast, I think you probably know who we are at this point, right?
I really want to know if we reach anyone outside. Like, I don't have like a good means of figuring out if we've reached anyone outside of like our family. I
I'm
have
told
no
we're
idea.
losing viewership, actually.
Who told you that?
Graham.
Graham,
She
how does
said
she know?
that Aunt Veronica is not listening.
Why?
I don't know.
Did she clarify
Um,
as to why?
No. I got the snippet of it. It was in reference to the episode where you guys were talking about going to Detroit. Because it was,
Oh,
her idea, right?
it was her idea. Well, she originally brought it up, and then nothing came of it. And so me and Grant just decided, like, I guess we'll just go.
Right.
It was a good idea, Abby. Thanks for suggesting it.
Yeah. I mean, I enjoyed it. And, me and Landis got the bond,
So that's what it's all about. Me and you know what?
That
My
is what it's
mom
all
listens
about.
to every episode. She listens the
Oh, she
minute
does.
that they come out. So she is probably
The
our
minute.
number. Her
She
her
got
and
us
Graham.
favorited.
I think she does. She
Yeah.
really like her and my dad will go
Smash
out and
that
they'll
like
sit
button.
by they'll sit by the fire. They'll light up the fire and they'll set our voices up and just listen to us while we're talking while they're just watching the fire. That's what they
Oh,
that's
man,
what
I
they
dig
do.
that. It's a fireside
Yeah.
chat. That's what we
Nice.
got.
It's
Thanks.
exactly what it is. They're totally buying into it, and I love it.
I like that a lot. Yeah. My mom
Shooting.
listens whenever, like, I don't think she has us followed. Mom, if you listen to this episode, follow. Anyone else who's listening, follow. Smash that
Like and
like button.
subscribe.
Subscribe. Hit that bell to get notified.
Oh, yeah.
Follow us on Patreon. We have an OnlyFans.
bell.
Subscribe to my OnlyFans.
Where you
Yeah,
get to see
you
the footage.
definitely want to see that. We're actually videotaping this one right now, and you can see two lovely burlesque men.
I got my hair on my chest and Noah's a naked mole rat.
You can see my pecs move.
I'm a little more reserved. I
Look
got
at
my John
Careful,
Peerless.
don't move those too much for me now.
Yeah.
Looking at our streams, at least through Spotify, we have 220 streams, 29 listeners, 290 starts.
That's up, no? Someone's out. Someone's new.
I don't
listening.
have like a means. I don't have a means of like seeing
Tell you
anything.
how many over time. That's unfortunate.
Here we go. I just wish I had more like a line chart or something like
Right.
that, but I can't seem to find anything like that.
That'll do you.
Oh, either way, I'm just happy that we've made it this far. To be honest, I didn't think
Oh
we were going
wait,
to make it
here we go.
past 5.
Oh.
So
Here
here we are.
I don't really
8.
like talking to you past 5.
No, I
episodes.
did. I just didn't. I thought, maybe we would just like, all right, it's fine, whatever. Either like we just gotta go off and no, we've kept this going pretty strong. It's like every other week
Solid-
we're recording something.
Solid breakdown here. I need a finding where all the data's at. I got line charts. I got bar charts.
Do we have any people
gold.
listening from out of the country? That would be nice.
No, we are all
Literally
United
none.
States.
Literally none.
That's
Yeah.
our number one countries there. That's it.
Yorn in Scandinavia, who's feeling a bit lonely, tunes in
Well,
every night.
I had noticed on my website, I had like people like tuning in from like, or like looking at my website from like Thailand or like China or all over the world. But like, I don't know if those are actually people from there or like just people like using a VPN or something,
That's possible.
So
Yeah, either one could be the thing. I just if you think like when do you really need a VPN? Like truly need a VPN. Most websites that you use are already secured. That you see that little lock button up there, that's essentially saying the site is secured. Like you can't easily hack and do whatever you want through it.
I can think of one purpose, and that is from my days in the good old RuneScape community. You had to use VPNs for botting services so that your accounts wouldn't get banned, and your IP would stay safe, so that you can keep making bots to make money for you. It's a pretty big deal.
Yeah.
You needed
Interesting.
VPN. So
Interesting.
illicit black market activities such as that could require the VPN service.
Do we want to break down
that you're not supposed to do, right?
Yeah.
Get those
you guys want a
VPNs
breakdown
out.
of our stats? Since I got this up here,
I kind of want to know if we increase in listeners or viewership. Viewership just sounds better, even though
I don't know if it's overtime. It doesn't look to be overtime, but what I'm seeing is from like July 11th to the 17th, and we've hit two peaks, the 12th and the 16th. The 16th we peaked at 3 listeners. Nice.
That's when we put out the last episode.
Yeah.
We've gone down to 1 listener on the 17th. So yesterday we had 1 listener.
It's all good.
Followers, we've been staying strong with 15 followers.
15?
We have 15.
Ooh,
15 followers.
I thought it would have been. I thought it would have just been us following it.
I think my mom follows.
I follow on Podbean.
I follow on Spotify, on Spotify.
I don't have the Google Podcast service, so I don't follow on that. But I do follow on the Podbean and the Spotify.
Right.
I don't know anything about Google Podcasts for our stats. 79% of our listeners are female. 21% are male. Of that, age range wise, 47% female, age from 60 to 150. Graham, thank you for listening.
The support.
32% female, age 45 to 59. And then the good 16%, 60 to 150.
It's everyone above 60. They just lumped everyone in. Let's put 60
that's
plus
probably
there.
That's 60 is probably just where you're designated as a senior, so that's probably where that numbers come from.
150 just throws me off.
16% of our listeners, all male, in the age of 23 to 27. I know I'm in there. I've listened to a couple of our streams on Spotify, so I know that's me. And 5% is 28 to 34 male. So, and that's that. All our listeners, all 19 streams are in the United States. Every single one of them. We have not branched out further than that, which is okay.
No Bjorn in Scandinavia.
Bjorn.
No Bjorn. We didn't even reach Canada.
I need you, Bjorn.
We are specifically the United States. We haven't even hit all of North America.
I need your long beard, Bjorn.
Just the
your
United
strong
States.
man hands, Bjorn. Anyways,
that's fine.
So, how are you guys doing then? So, freaking, what are you up to, Chan?
Snap. Okay, I just figured out all time for followers. Oh, we hit a decent chunk there. For followers, we hit 15 followers, roughly May 30th, beginning of June, and we just been rocking 15. We started in April.
We started in April?
Yeah. First episode was put out April 23rd. I know that for a fact because I tried to make April 23rd, 2020 the birth date on our Twitter, and I ended up getting banned because I was underneath the age range.
Yeah.
And I had to send them my ID to prove that I was over, I think, 13 to have a Twitter.
Yeah, we've been at it for a few months now.
Because they needed to know that a couple months old is
You know what? It'll be a lot of fun
having
to go
Twitter.
back. It'll be a lot of fun to go back to those first few episodes and just like kind of listen to where we were at the time. You know, maybe like a couple years down the road from now, like just to like listen what we were up to. Like it's gonna be pretty cool. I like this. It's like a little history of ourselves almost.
It's like a journal.
Yeah, exactly.
But you gotta listen to yourself speak.
Yeah,
Ugh.
doctor notes or something.
How would we go about even achieving that, or do we do something like where we say, hey, you know, in this upcoming episode, everyone listening to like the first podcast, like the first one we put out there, and then we'll come back as a collective and think, how about this episode we talk about our strengths and what we've done and how far we came, and then next episode, you know, we listen to the first podcast and then we talk about, you know, about it's kind of do like a scientific observation type thing, you know, form a theory now, a hypothesis, then go back and look and see how close we are.
Think about how we were. Well, for one, I think we've gotten a lot better with interacting over the forum that we have. We're not like cutting each other off as much as I think we used to, and we get into the flow a lot better than when we first started. Like we just didn't know what the heck.
A lot quicker.
You know. Yeah, no, we kind of can feed off of each other a little bit better than I think we used to.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about there. Yeah, it's like starting it up, you know, we were kind of a little afraid to do something wrong. And now like the introduction is just kind of like, oh, okay, you got to do the introduction, right?
Yeah.
And it's not something that we take too serious. It doesn't have to be to a T. It just has to like kick things off so that way start moving our mouths for the recording pretty much.
Yeah, get it rolling.
Yeah.
Yeah, you are right. That is a good observation.
Yeah,
remember
especially
we were
like,
at first we were like, ooh, who's doing the introduction? Like, ooh, is it gonna be you? Is it gonna be me? Like, how are we gonna do this? You know?
yeah.
But no, we were just at it.
Yeah, and I think that probably sets the tone for everything, at least as far as the flow is going to go. That probably marks a lot of the improvement on flow, I bet.
It's a good first kickoff. What about you, Chan? You got any observations that you think may have transpired?
I can really only, I think, speak for myself. I think I've become more comfortable, you know, behind the mic and talking to you guys and having things, you know, flow like you said. I think we've all become much more comfortable with it. Editing these podcasts really and listening to them, because I do listen to them after I edit them and put them out, just because like oh man, that's my voice on Spotify. Well, it's just like, wow, really that's cool. Me on Spotify.
No, I put it on, like I put it on in the car and I listen to it in the on the ride home from work. Like it's really, it is kind of cool. Like you're on Spotify. You know, it's a really good feeling.
Or Google Podcast or whichever.
Yeah,
you know,
and you know, it's like you said. Like when you first started, it's not like you kind of felt the presence of the mic there, but now at least for me, like it's just like I'm just talking, you know, and the mic's just there. It's not like I'm like intimidated by it. Like, oh Lordy, like people are gonna judge me for what I say behind this thing, right?
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
You kind of get used to it, I guess. Best way to describe that. There we go.
Yeah, you're definitely not as worried. It's not as big of a deal as you make it up to be. You kind of put it on a pedestal and realize it's, you know, not something that you can really just mess up all the time. It's just
well, it was something.
Gotta let it go.
Yeah, it was something that we had talked about doing for so long that, like, we kind of, at least for me, I kind of like built it up in my mind. You know, like, oh God, like, what's it gonna be like, or all of this kind of stuff. You know, and here we are.
Yeah, it's just talking to you guys and sharing it with people.
Yeah, and from this, I kind of got, you know, more comfortable with it. I think I'm going to start streaming on Twitch. once I get a few things finished up. I don't think I'll have a video. I already streamed once, and I did have my video up, and only a former roommate actually came in and joined me.
I would have turned it on. I didn't know you were running a Twitch.
Yeah, I would like to get, like, I don't know. I think it'd be cool to have us on there playing a game and kind of be like, hey, have like a little podcast type sesh. I don't know if you can record things too. I mean, you could record like a previous thing on Twitch, but eventually it gets deleted after, I think, 14 days if you're not like a Prime member or Twitch person. You have to have so many followers, I think, to be something rather. I don't know. And you get to have your streams saved for a longer date. But as of right now, it's only like 14 days. But I think that would be cool to have that. And I would also like to have like a podcast in person at maybe like a family event type thing. Yeah. No, I think really we can get like a lapel mic, and I got
or something.
Yeah, and I got recording devices on my laptop that I could easily use to record us.
I could bring down one of these mics. One of them might be fine to be able to pick everybody up. I don't know how strong it might be pushing it, but I don't know.
We'd have to find somewhere quiet though, knowing our family.
Oh, it's not just recording a family event?
Yeah.
That's what I was imagining.
Oh, you were just imagining like a whole family event, and then like
a kitchen table right in the center around the mashed potatoes and stuff.
We could do that, but the way I envision it is we have us there, and then I think it'd be cool to kind of just like pick and piece, have everyone come over eventually to hang out and join the podcast, and then like leave and go do their own thing. Have everyone have their own like little segment. Grant's mom can come hang out, and Dad and Anthony can come hang out for a bit, and Corey can come back, and my dad and Graham and my grandfather and Pat
everybody
and all.
Gets a taste.
Yeah, everyone can come on for a little bit, share a story of whatever they want to talk about.
Yeah, that would be a really good one. I think we could definitely split that one up into pieces too. Yeah, a little bit, like kind of section it out, make the most of it.
Yeah, we could part that out as best as we can.
I imagine that would be something that would take a few hours actually, if we're able to get in-depth conversations with everybody, as much as we would want to, at least.
Yeah, and I would like to have my mom's dad at least on here or record him. I talked to him once, and I recorded a little bit of it, but when he was a young child, he lived through World War II. He was 10 years old at 1945, which was the end of the war there. And he says that, he can remember, having them do the mandatory blackouts and stuff, covering your windows, shutting off any and all lights.
The gas rations and stuff.
And all the rations, I should say. So not rations.
Sorry.
But the rationing and all that stuff.
I think I'd know better.
Yeah.
I mispronounce shit all the time. Jacob can attest to that.
I do it on purpose. I
don't. I'm very much. I learned how to speak and read like phonetically, so it's like sometimes it's really hard. I miss a lot of words that way.
I just said something with Chandler, like it was like blimp, but I said like bimp or whatever. It was something exactly like that.
Just completely missed the L.
It's just like just drop something, and it's like I'm 24 at this point. I should know.
Oh, it happens. And when I'm recording like audiobooks and stuff, like when I go back through the reading, I'm like, what the fuck was I saying? Like, how did you get that word out of this? Like, where were you looking? Come on, man.
I was intoxicated once, and I was like, I want to know what I sound like. Well, during the story.
I was gonna say it too.
and I was like, I want to know what I sound like singing. So I threw on Stained. It's been a while, and I was singing that, and I go back and I listen to it, and I'm missing like whole sentences. I'm like, what happened
You're like,
here?
and you're like sitting there. You're like, you're sitting there. And you're like, man, I fucking killed that, man. I killed it. I killed every verse. I hit every single line, every note, and then you go back through it. And you're just like, ooh.
It'll be like it's
Yeah.
like it's like simple ones that everyone's know. Like instead of it's been a while, I'll be like is while. I'm like, what?
Wow.
What?
It's a while.
I know the song. I mean, I realized I was obviously a little inebriated, but a lot more than what I thought, I guess.
Speaking of records and stuff, I was at the Goodwill yesterday, and I was just walking along, and I saw a record that I just could not pass up, and it's a John Denver one, and I freaking love John Denver.
Oh yeah.
I don't even own a record player, and it was 5 cents for the damn thing, and like now I have to buy a record player just because I picked up a John Denver album. I looked through all the other ones, none of them were any good, but the John Denver one, I was like, how is this here? Who gave this to Goodwill? And so I was so happy to.
Have you looked at the record itself?
It looks all right. There are a couple of scratches. I'm a little curious to see if that might affect it. They don't look like they're too deep, so could be fine. I mean, it was 5 cents for the fucking record, so.
Well, Goodwill's got them like super super cheap. When I get a record, I go to the record store down the road, and they can be a little pricey. I got my Huey Lewis. I got my Huey Lewis in the News there for $5.
That's not bad.
No, it's not bad. There was one there. There was one there that was like $1, but the whole cover, like the album cover and everything, was like essentially all chewed up and gone. So I got the $5 one, so I can actually have the album cover and stuff. Fortunately, they put the freaking $5 sticker on the album, so now that's on there. Great.
I think they know. You think they know better since they're a freaking record store.
I mean, people got their pet peeves, and I just wish it wasn't on there. But
do they sell record players there? Because
yeah,
I
think they got some.
Should I buy it off Amazon or should I just go there? Because it sounds like they might be a little bit more expensive.
I got mine off of Amazon, and they, I think, sell the same one that I have. Mine was, if you're going to get a record player, I recommend starting out getting the same one that I have, which is an Audio Technica.
Oh, same thing as your mic.
Brand?
Yeah, same thing as my mic. Hold on, I can't see what the little things are.
Is there any MXL? It's all my microphones are. Is MXLs?
I got an Audio Technica ATLP60X, which is like essentially their bottom tier. It's roughly.
I wouldn't need anything better than that, really.
Yeah, that's.
I mean, I just starting out. Record, so
don't go with the Crosley briefcase stuff. If you really want to collect records and get into like record collectings and hear some good stuff, get yourself an actual decent, like mine, the ATLP.
I like how you knocked on the wood. You're just like,
I knocked on it.
Solid like this. No briefcase.
You'll need outside microphones for it. You'll have to plug in microphones. So either you'll have to get like your bookshelf microphones, or if you got like I don't know, a pair of cheap crap computer microphones, that would also probably work.
Does it not play like a speaker?
That's what you'll need, a speaker. Right? I'm sorry, I said microphone. Speakers what you'll need.
Oh God, I'm like, what the?
I'm sorry. Right there, I do that all the time. Where I'll say something.
I mean,
totally means something else.
Technically, a microphone can be used as a speaker. So,
can it really?
Yeah.
You need speakers.
How do you do that? How do you make a microphone into a speaker?
It's the same. It's the same process. It's The microphone works from the buffets.
Is it like a hose?
The,
Like you just throw it in backwards and like it goes into your into your water storage instead of out. Something like that.
I don't know about that.
I don't know. There was potential for that to be a good joke, but it was poorly executed. Go on.
Oh God! All right, like I was saying, a microphone works by the buffets from the wind or from the waves in your voice, and it's the same way a speaker.
Waves.
It's the same. The speaker reproduces those sound waves the same way, moving the exact same way. So if you were to send that charge back through the wire and into your microphone, you could actually get it to do the same thing, but it would be really shitty.
Yeah, it wouldn't be amplified or sound.
It would be really shitty. It's just it's like it goes both ways, and that's how it would have to work because it's an analog device.
Yeah. Yeah, but I mean, like you can come down here and see what I got, and then go off of that.
How many records do you have? You got like what 20? You posted a lot on Instagram.
Let me put the light on, and I can do a quick count.
Are you drinking some water over there, Noah? Some sweet tea water?
It's a big old jug of water that I got in a sweet
Stay hydrated.
It's hot up here.
I have my first ever sour beer. It's a lemon lime tart. It's very interesting.
Those are interesting.
Yes, very.
There's a lot of flavor. Just pow.
He's got this Adventure Time record right there.
Does this count as one? Because there's 3 records in here. Because
I would say 3 then, if it's got 3 of them.
Yes.
Well, it's got, let's see, 1, 2, 3, and a 10-inch. I have a 10-inch in here as well.
I guess by that logic, I actually have 2 records because the John Denver came with 2 records. So I gypped Goodwill out of 5 cents. They should have charged me 10 cents instead of 5.
So you can get some real gems at like Goodwill, like first pressings and stuff, and early pressings.
Yeah, I've been to quite a few garage sales and volunteer like thrift shops and things like that where I always see records. I just don't know what I'm looking for in those. So
yeah, there's a couple.
The first one I ever bought was the John Denver one because I was like, I can't pass this up. Because I love John Denver.
Good.
Yeah. If I could get him and like a Gordon Light, I love Gordon Lightfoot. I love Gordon Lightfoot a lot. So I just like those. I like those 2 sounds a lot from those 2 guys. They're pretty similar in sounds of voice, but
the album doesn't have Country Roads, does it?
It does. It has.
It does.
It does.
There you go.
It has Country Roads. It has Rocky Mountain High on it too.
Rocky Mountain High.
I think I like. I think hot take. I think I like Rocky Mountain High more than Country Roads.
It's not really a hot take. They're both great songs.
But everybody knows the Country Roads.
Everyone knows Country Roads because that got more airway. But
yeah,
if you're a John Denver fan, they're both good songs.
Rocky Mountain
High is a good song.
I think it's better.
Song. My favorite John Denver song is "The Country Boy."
That's a good one too. I think it's
my
got it
one
too. It's a solid record. I hope it sounds all right if I ever get the chance of actually using it.
Yeah,
I might have to bring it over next time I'm over.
Come down here. You could put it on my record player and see how it sounds for you. There's a couple of things I have to get for my record. I need to get like a little brush because you're supposed to clean the record of any dirt and stuff before you actually play it, and then because that dust and stuff can make clicks and pops. It'll make clicks and pops. Which isn't terrible. I actually kind of like the click and pop sound, but you don't want it like constant.
Click, 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 pop, 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 click, click, click.
That also, I think, takes away the static. I've been getting a lot of static on my freaking records. I got a cork slip mat here to try and negate some of that, but it's still freaking getting stuck to my record every once in a while. By the way, I got like a total of 20 albums.
That's what I thought.
Oh, nice.
20.
Nice.
There's a couple.
Amassed quite the collection.
I haven't put some of it. I haven't put all of it on my Instagram yet. A lot of it has been on there, but not all of it. I like it. You know, I'm digging records. I like.
It's a great hobby.
It's a cool hobby. I think I have a very diverse taste of music, which you can see through our records.
That's something you've always had. Never been stuck to one to stick to the norm. So
I try and find the not so big or get into different types of genres, like
just like my dad, or at least the not so big type. Dad does keep within a few genres. He doesn't branch out a lot from those. I mean, he does. Don't get me wrong, but he knows what he likes.
Yeah, and I mean that's good. But you know, like I'll go from like psych rock, listening to a band like King Gizzard and the Lizard Wizard, to indie rock like Phoebe Bridgers, to straight up country music.
Did you say psych rock?
Yeah, psychedelic rock.
Psychedelic rock. Okay.
Yeah, but it's just called psych rock.
Is that like?
Gotcha.
Is that like Pink Floyd? Is that what they?
Yeah.
Pink Floyd might be in psych rock. Okay. I do know King Gizzard and the Lizard Wizard is technically psych rock.
I don't think I've heard King Gizzard and the Lizard Wizard.
Yeah. The Lizard Wizard. They're from Australia. There's 7 people in that band.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah,
that's a crowd.
Yeah, it's a big band, and they play some like instruments that you don't typically hear. Like one of the albums they played, they had a theremin.
Oh, they got a theremin in there?
Yeah, there's a theremin in one of them.
I don't even know what those sound like.
Do you know what a theremin looks like?
No, I don't think I've ever even heard of what the hell a theremin. I'm surprised Noah knows what it is.
If you watch Star Trek, like there's the lady singing and she's doing the vocals, and in the background is a theremin.
Oh, okay, then I've heard it before.
It's like a really kind of digital, like harmonic sounding.
You play it kind of with like your hand placement in regards to it. So you have just like this device, and on one end you have a pole that's sticking up, and on the other end you have a pole that wraps around, kind of makes, you could think of it more like a circle, but it's not really a circle. And where your hand is placed in regards to those two things changes the pitch of the sound that you get.
If you want to see it, like you can YouTube, what was it, American Horror Story, and then the Coven season. There's like the older lady, she's talking and whatever, and she's kind of like cast aside as like the older person that doesn't really have power, but she's annoying and stuff. And so naturally she plays the theremin. It's just like this scene where she's just being super annoying and maybe even condescending to the other character in the scene. It's pretty funny when you look at it.
I must have seen it then, because I did watch that season. That season was great, so I can't believe that I didn't know what it was called then.
Yeah,
it's a neat little instrument.
Or do they play do they have the didgeridoo? Do they play the didgeridoo in this Australian band?
That'd be sick. Theremin and a didgeridoo.
I got 2 albums by them, so I could see what we got here. I accidentally picked out.
Oh God, this is so tart.
The beer.
Yeah.
Sour.
Made with 66 pounds of limes and 50 pounds of lemon zest.
Oh my God.
It's a lot.
Are you kidding me?
It's got a 3.5 pH level. It's freaking, I can feel it melting my teeth off.
It's acidic.
Yeah.
That reminds me, do you remember the Cajun water? Was it Kanyang water? What's that machine called?
It was Pinion water 9.5.
No. Pinion is
Kangen coffee. Pinion coffee.
It was Kangen water.
Oh, was it Kangen? I got me thinking
why do
about
they
the
call
coffee.
it Kanye? But yeah, that was our joke. Pinyin coffee 9.5. The coffee was amazing with the water. Oh, I remember that. Like you could get it to be whatever pH you wanted.
Yes, you don't still have that machine, do you?
They
I think
do. I think it just needs like a new
just
filter.
needs some help.
Swept.
That one, the only interesting thing was the theremin.
Mhm.
Let's see if they have something different on this one. This is the newest album that they put out, which is just a collection of songs from live shows.
Do they say what instruments they play on the back or something?
Sometimes they'll have like sheets, and typically they will say like instruments played.
Uh,
But that's like during albums, and this is a live show, so I don't think they have. Oh, here we go. Drums, guitar, keyboard, synthesizer, harmonica, keyboard, synthesizer, vocals, percussion, drums, vocals, guitar, keyboard, synthesizer, bass, guitar, vocals. Yeah, nothing out of the ordinary there.
I do like it when they play the good vocals, the good old piped vocals.
Oh, I mean, your voice is an instrument.
The mouth organ.
The mouth, mouth organ.
Yeah. Yeah, I really got into record collecting. Kind of took off there.
Yeah. It's just
Yeah,
like,
no, that was like out of nowhere too. It was just like I just threw on Instagram one time and you just boom, I got a record. I'm like, damn, new hobby.
there was
Nice.
there's a good week when I'm like picking up Chandler's mail and it's like it's another one of these boxes. And then after like I figured it out that the record's like, damn, it's another record. And it's just like, I don't know, a week or two. They're all coming in. It's like, I know who this is for. Just see the box right there.
Ooh, Chan's records.
Yeah, I had a couple pre-orders that didn't come till obviously later. You know,
Yeah,
I pre-ordered the album, and then eventually it got put out and then sent. So
I don't think they were too worried about getting your records to you in the middle of the coronavirus happenings either. They were
no,
delaying all those types of shipments.
Kind of when it died down.
Yeah,
I never really had like really a delay in shipment. All my stuff that I bought is.
I did.
There you go.
This microphone took me forever to get.
Thanks to be Grant.
Sucks for you.
Yeah. I don't know what it is. I don't really use Amazon that much, so we're not rural. We live in. There's DoorDash and there's Uber and
You
there's
guys
all
had DoorDash
kinds of stuff. Yeah, there's
Oh,
DoorDash
never
here.
mind. I think that counts.
Yeah, it's just a little city. It's not like it's not Columbus, but it's a lot bigger than where I grew up.
Columbus, it doesn't even feel like a big city because it's just all sprawled out and large.
Well, I mean, Columbus itself.
It's a metropolis for sure.
Yeah.
It's really condensed, and then you got a bunch of little out towns that are also big. You know, Hilliard, Upper Arlington, Dublin.
Loads of suburbs. Suburbia nation.
Those are
really nice spots, but man, like driving through all of it, it's just like, man, this is all the same. Like, there's so many stores. There's the white fences. It's very blah.
Yeah,
like that's all I can put it.
Then you get outside of that, and it really opens up.
Yeah,
you get out to like Marysville or Plain City, stuff like that. Kind of opens up.
It's a nice little drive from like here to Dayton, and then as soon as you get on the other side of like 270, I don't know, like 10 minutes, you kind of forget about the city real quick. Like it's gone. That's kind of nice.
Not too bad. Not too bad.
Do like that as an escape.
Yeah.
So anyway, what's new with you, Landis?
Yeah,
How
I was just going to ask you.
What is expected Anything coming
I
up?
guess
What's
I've got
work like?
I've got a few things going on. I guess works fine. It's a bit slow right now, but that's kind of worrying. But uh, other than that, I guess I'm applying for a master's program. Noah actually helped me proof edit my statement of purpose for it. So I
Nice.
have a good feeling about that. So I'm hoping that goes well. I guess we'll find out in a few weeks if that goes through or not. I haven't submitted it yet because I'm waiting on some edits from another or proofreads from another person that I've asked to help. But other than that, it's pretty good. I'm doing the voice stuff. I've posted a few videos on my Facebook and on my LinkedIn, and people seem to be pretty appreciative of it. Actually, a few people are even like telling me that I should make a freaking YouTube channel for it and just like I don't know, like read like history stuff or short stories and make like little videos out of it.
Well,
So
hey,
That would be pretty
why don't
cool.
we just combine?
maybe I'll do
We
some
could.
of that.
Would you like to combine
Just
channels?
smoosh them together.
Have
Smush
both
channels.
both like your own stuff, the podcast, and maybe if like I stream on Twitch, I could have
Put us in a
So,
little
like-
family or something.
just like a little thing there.
Yeah.
You
Thing
can
thing
create a
is,
playlist just for your
I gotta
stuff.
figure out what I want to do with it. Still, it's still rattling around in the old brain. I don't know. I don't even know if I've got enough time for it with all the other stuff that I like to do. So it's a thought, and if people keep asking for it like they are, then I mean, who am I to deny them?
Who am I to judge?
I mean,
That's the first thing.
Your Landis,
Sorry.
you could do what you want with.
you're
Like,
right. You're right. And there's a finite amount of time that I have, so we'll see. It would be pretty cool. It would be nice. I have always thought of it, but I don't know about source material and stuff like that. That's gonna take time to get all of that together for me to read and then make like videos about it and stuff like that's a lot of time, a lot of commitment of effort too. So
It's a lot of effort.
yeah, if I get into the master's program, a lot of my time is going to be going towards that because your
Oh,
boy
yeah.
needs
What,
some help with math. So
What
Fun.
master's program have you or are you going to apply to?
I'm
What schools?
applying for a master's of engineering from University of Arizona. So I'm hoping it goes pretty well.
Going out to
Before I get into it.
Arizona.
It'll be online right now.
Oh, yeah.
Is the entire program online? Like I thought it was just like, online program to begin with, and then you'd still be working.
They
on
have
however-
they have two versions. They've got an online version and one there at University of Arizona. I'm applying for the online version because I do
Right.
very much want to keep working, so I
Uh-huh.
can pay for it.
Okay.
along with their discounts and other assistance towards it. So
So you only get the discount if you're working while you're going, right? Is that okay?
yeah,
Alright.
it's while
Just
working.
assumption,
So
okay.
it'll be
Gotcha.
pretty part time. I think first semester it'll probably be, if I do get it, I'll probably take it decently light. Trying to get back into the swing of things, see what everything's all about again.
Yeah, I would just see how long they give you, like especially with those math classes and like having enough time to do them, they'll soak up your time.
Yeah, I mean, as long as I can get at least a day of my weekend to be able to put forth effort on those, then I should be fine.
Can I
Especially
ask you
since-
why you chose U of A?
Because there's a discount for it, and I've read that the program is really good. So, like people were talking about that program that I'm applying for, or the Colorado School of Mines, which is really good too. And so, if I can get into this one, I will be pretty stoked, to say the least.
Nice.
Yeah.
Thoughts and prayers.
Thoughts and prayers. We're hoping for the best, and if I get denied, then we're not gonna ever talk about this again. So.
Yeah. So, that reminds me. So the GRE training, if you want to call it that, how's that been going? Because I got to return an email from my buddy to say thank you.
I actually haven't used it. That they don't have a GRE
No?
requirement, so I just was
Oh,
like, I was
then
going to
don't
use
take
it,
it.
and then I was like, the one that I was, the program that I wanted was like, you don't really need it. You just got to give us all your other stuff. I'm like, well, fuck yeah.
Well,
So
yeah.
You got it.
I'm not gonna spend the $300 on the damn test again. So
Yeah. Nah. Well,
I mean, I
some
will take
programs
it
are
if I
moving
have
away from
to.
that. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a fucking weird test.
It's a lot of like what you really don't even do in any program.
No, it's just
So,
it's like a logic thing, which it is good for that. But I feel like if you go to an accredited program and you get good enough grades there, then it should show a good capacity of what you can do in the classroom and what you are able to provide in a master's program. At least I don't know about doctorate stuff, but I could see there being some requirements for doctorate programs like that because those are, doctorate's a pretty big deal. So
yeah, I mean, like doing thesis and research work is a different beast than classwork.
yeah, exactly.
Well, can I ask what does getting a master's open up for you per se? Let's say you get you get into the program, you get the master's, you get the master's. What do you do after that?
Well, I feel like it diversifies myself a lot because it is a master's of engineering, and I feel like that just opens up a whole a whole diverse array of opportunities that I can get into a lot more than I can now. That one's basically more focused in uh, like mining minerals and resources like that, geological stuff, geomechanics and things like that. So I still understand a lot of that stuff pretty well, and just I don't know. I'm kind of moving towards maybe living out west, Colorado area, Arizona. Mining havens maybe potentially with this. I don't know. We'll
Gonna be
see.
leaving us.
See what
Leaving.
happens.
You're gonna have
I
to
don't
get
know.
used to the podcasts.
Our only way
Oh,
of
man.
communication.
That'd be the only way we see Grant. He won't even be at
No.
family parties.
Well, the idea is I can get a position where I'll have um, actual weekends off. So that would be nice. But also, I could uh, transition to a Houston role with Halliburton somewhere down there and do like some of the consulting and stuff with that. I don't want to really be a cement engineer, but I guess that could be an option too, or frac engineer. But I would rather do something with consulting in Houston for Halliburton if I were to go down that route.
Well, if you move out west, I know where I'll be vacationing.
That's true. Oh yeah, that'd be nice.
No, that would be really cool.
Hmm.
Absolutely, 100%.
That'd be about it.
That's a long way from now, and that's basically hinging on the fact that this program accepts a geology student into an engineering program. So,
Hey, is there any mineral mining hubs near, I don't know, like an ocean? I'm thinking seafood, Grant.
There's got to be mining up in like Maine or something, right?
go get
Maine,
mine the
Florida,
They got
Carolinas,
lobsters.
Georgia.
I like that idea right there that you came up with.
I've never been to California. Is there anything going on out there? Gold was a big thing out there. Is there still some gold in them there hills?
I don't know. I think Alaska is where the most of the gold is right now. So if you guys want
Let's
to
not
go up to Alaska,
I mean, unless you're there's only like a couple places, Anchorage. It's the only one I know, and that's not even the capital.
I've always said if I were to go to Alaska, I probably would never leave because I feel like it's got to be the most beautiful state of all of them.
I mean, there's like there's like little towns there that are just extremely beautiful.
They've got what 7 or 8 national parks in Alaska alone. Like
they have a Blockbuster, and that itself is a national park.
The Blockbuster is a national park.
I don't know if that's
or
true.
should we just there should be a history museum now?
We should make it a landmark, a historic landmark or something.
Last I knew, there was still a Blockbuster that was there.
I thought there was one. I thought the last one was in like Oregon or something or
No,
Seattle.
the last one was in Alaska. as far as I know, and that's just because they don't have internet or anything else out there. So the only way they get movies and DVDs is that's it, VHS.
Yeah.
Hey,
See that's when
What?
they can totally outcompete Netflix and Amazon.
That's yeah.
They
Until
got 'em.
you start running Ethernet cables out there, then
It's not happening. There's not enough people.
I feel like if somebody were to buy the Blockbuster name and like actually make a real go for it, they would be pretty successful. Like, and transition to a more online kind of presence. But I feel
Netflix
like
kinda
the name. I feel like the name itself would buy some loyalty right off the bat if it's done well. I feel like there's money to be made there.
I don't know. How would you do it? What would make you different than like Netflix, Hulu?
I don't know. If I did, I'd go buy it.
HBO, or
If I
any
did,
of the
I would
other
go buy
places that are now going to just streams.
If I did, I would buy it.
That's
It's a hard market.
Yeah.
It is hard.
Yeah.
That's why I was wondering, like, why there's like Quibi. Have you guys heard of Quibi?
Do they have Will Ferrell and Adam Sandler?
I don't know what it is, but
Quibi
I
is
just saw them popping up. Is it?
Quibi is supposed to be a streaming that they just wanted to focus on just your phone, and you could watch, get this, either in portrait or landscape mode.
Oh, wow.
Wow, I know.
I've never been offered so many options.
They've been apparently losing a bunch of subscribers, and I've heard nothing really but like some bad things. Like you can't cast from your phone to the TV. Last I knew, but I think they updated that. What else was out there?
I feel like it's bold of a company to assume that people would want to watch TV on anything but their TV.
Well, they were trying to, I guess, package it towards millennials on the move. Is what they wanted to do.
Well, we sit down. We have TV.
I mean, I do know. I don't really know anybody who doesn't have a TV, like at least like a small one or like a laptop or something to be able to watch it on. So I feel like it's a swing and a miss there.
Yeah.
I had read that 90% of their first customers, the free trial customers, canceled right off the bat.
Yeah. Ooh, yeah, that's bad.
Yeah.
Quibi.
Quibi. You can flush it down the drain.
Wasn't too good.
Is that how you say it? Quibi?
Quibi. I think it's Quibi. Quibi. I think it's Quibi. Yeah.
Quibi. I've never even seen this.
I've only seen a few commercials for it. I did give it the time. I watched one of the commercials of them showing what they have,
the trailers,
and it was like I could not recognize any of the movies. I think I did recognize a few of the actors, but like it just didn't look something that I was like, oh, I'm going to click on this and go see what it's all about.
I know. I know they got a Blockbuster because they, I believe, redid the Princess Diaries, and I know after I watched it the first time, I was like, oh, I would love a second and a remake of this.
Yeah.
No. But I believe they remade the Princess Diaries. I think they got some shows that are on there that they did or done or have the rights to. I don't quite know.
And even like Apple has tried to do that. It's just really hard to break into.
Yeah, at this point, Netflix is pretty well entrenched. Disney Plus made a pretty big punch there, but I feel like they haven't really followed it up with a lot of original programming. You know, they've got all of their show. They have like they shot their shot kind of thing, and they don't really have anything to bring people back right now.
I think that mostly they're just gonna make money on their like DVDs and stuff, right?
And stuff like that.
Yeah, that is true.
They
but
don't
like,
they don't release their stuff.
Yeah, you're right, and they're gonna keep it all there, and they do make some good stuff. I gotta hand it to them. The Mandalorian was really good, and I'm very much looking forward to the next season of it. I, however, would not be paying for it. I would have canceled after I watched the first season, but I'm still paying for it because my family wants me to keep that subscription going for them because I bum off all their other subscriptions. So I guess it's only fair. only
That's
fair
your-
to me
that's your
that I
chip
at
in.
least give them. Yeah, it's my little
Yeah.
contribution to the pot.
I paid
they've got
for
the
it.
completely for
Spotify
that.
premium. They've got all the other stuff, so it's like, I'll at least do this for them.
Okay.
I paid for it, and I've been watching a lot of like the Disney made-for-TV movies,
Yeah.
classics. You
Yeah,
know,
I think didn't we talk about this in
Have you seen the
the
Luck of the
second
Irish yet?
episode?
All right, but Luck of the Irish, who cares?
I haven't watched The Luck of the Irish. The last one I watched was
that
it was
one.
the
I don't know
bowling
how-
movie.
There's a bowling one.
Yeah, there's a bowling one. That was the last one I watched.
Uh-huh.
It was
No, it sounds intrigued.
what, like, do you
Is
want
it
you want the
better
whole
than
plot of it?
Kingpin or not better than Kingpin?
I mean, if we're talking bowling movies, Kingpin is where it's at. If you're wanting a bowling movie,
if you haven't like watched it recently, it's not like the most put together movie once you see it now. Like The Lebowski is a better bowling movie, and it's not even about bowling.
but it's there.
Yeah,
And I don't roll on Shabbos. Okay,
yeah.
Market
So,
Zero. God damn it, Market Zero.
see, like immediately, I don't remember any lines from Kingpin.
Yeah.
No, but I remember Kingpin. Like I know.
I don't think
like,
I've even watched it, so
you never watched it. It's a
I don't
decent
think I
bowling
have.
movie.
I know that Amish bowl hold 12 frames plus 6 more. And that's why the Amish's averages are so much higher than ours.
We're talking about movies when we're missing our movie guy here, Jacob. We should have talked about this last episode.
We talked a
things
lot about
happen.
movies.
Yeah,
I watched the movie that he talked about, the Pelican Bar. I watched that.
Oh, okay. You didn't watch Tusk? Tusk is going off real soon.
I watched
he
the
told us not
trailer
to
and
watch
the ending
Tusk,
of Tusk.
though.
I watched
wanna
the
watch
ending
it.
of Tusk, and I am not going to watch Tusk after watching the ending of Tusk. It was not good. I would
Do
say.
not watch Tusk. So I listen. I pretty much listen to Jacob's word when it comes to the shows or movies. Like he's a really good judge of that stuff. So,
But I did watch the Pelican Bar.
I gotta touch the stove.
Jacob, if you're listening, I watched it. It was good.
Mhm.
You know, it was definitely a student-made film. You could tell. I mean, as for like, it's better than anything I made, yeah, quality-wise and stuff like that. But I got little issues with like the story and stuff and how things
What
got
did
to be.
when did you make a video?
I said it would be better than anything that I would have
okay.
made.
I thought you said all right. Continue.
Did you think you called him out? Like, I've made better.
I was like, wait a minute. I wanted to. If you made one, I was like, why didn't I see it? You know, that's what I was thinking.
I mean, I had to make a high school Spanish class video.
I
I
made
did
a
that.
bio project. You want to watch that?
I think I'll pass.
Evolution. So we threw in Pokemon.
Oh, okay. Never mind. I'm back in.
Bad CGI.
You know what I want? I want Noah's.
CGI in?
I
Yeah,
want
we
Noah's
did. We had some
presentation on a saint. He's like, whose nose is this?
Oh, that was all ad lib. And I had, that's a story. I still think about that to this day, and I want to punch my religion teacher in the face because he's a hypocrite.
You want to punch your religion teacher in the face?
That guy is a liar. He lied to us about how much homework we were going to have in religion class. He lied to us about how seriously he was going to take it. He is full of it. And now he, like, I don't remember what he's doing, but he's doing like something like promotional or whatever for somewhere else in like a college or whatever. But I just, and I can't come up with it. But all I'm thinking of is like that he's working a gift shop. And it doesn't really bother me that I'm thinking about that. He really rubbed me the wrong way.
Well, I hate to hear that.
Yeah, but
Well,
anyway, the big deal was like he would make jokes about saints or other figures in the church, and like one of them that I remember is like Chuck the Hammer, and then he just sat there and he wouldn't shut up about like the guy's beard and his hammer and stuff. And so I did like the same thing, but I took it a little bit more like kind of jabbing at the guy's facial features because this saint had a big Italian schnoz and it was funny. And so I drew a nose and I said, whose nose is this? Now, he might not know this, but this is St. Alphonsus' nose. And then I started going on with the rest of the shit. But he really did not like that. Basically, the only thing I did was take out the whiteboard and St. Alphonsus' nose. And then he was fine with the whole presentation, but he made me do it again just because of that. I'm sorry. That's a rant. That's about as much as I know about the story, except that I gave out like a bunch of worksheets for people to follow around and do, and they were complete nonsense. And they were just supposed to like make it look like people are doing things.
I would have been cool with the schnoz. I would have been real cool with it.
If a kid did it while he was giving the presentation, but stepped on like all the other things, like I would be fine with this. Like now they're all gonna remember like this guy's got a big nose and he did all these things in the church.
I'm okay with adding a little bit of fun, a little bit of surprise element, another element to your presentation. Like
I got no problem with that.
Being unique,
off the cuff, man. Sometimes it goes good. I don't think that one was too bad. I oftentimes always go off the cuff. You know, I'll have something written out, but then I go to the speech, and then I'm like, everything that I wrote just blanks, and I just go, and just right into it. Like I can, I can remember, like I was
That's
voted,
just like this too.
Yeah, I was voted captain. I was voted captain of the football team. And we would have like before the season starts, we bring in like all the parents and stuff, and like the captains go up there and they, you know, it's like a hoorah type thing. We'd speak to the parents and everything and thank everyone. And so I'm up there. I have written down what I'm gonna say, and I just scrap it. I crumple it up and throw it away, and everything's just straight off the cuff. I could just remember I was like, I want to thank, the coaches. I want to thank all the players. I want to thank all the Eagle moms that are out there that do so much and for us. And I pause and I like motion to the crowd to clap for like the Eagles moms and everything, and everyone claps. And I was like, I want to thank the dads as well. I can't remember what their name was. I don't think it was Eagle Dads or not. But then again, I motioned everyone to clap, and it went good. It went well. I was told afterwards that, I sound like a politician. So I was like, okay, I don't know if that's a compliment or not, but I'll take it.
Must run in the family good speeches. My vice principal always, every time I'd talk in front of an audience or whatever, he'd always be like, "Man, you're really good at that. You should do that for a living." So,
be a public speaker, okay?
he always said like, you should be like a comedian or something. Like I don't know what he meant by that. He's like, your timing is just fantastic when you're speaking in front of people. So.
I've been told that I should be a comedian as well, but I don't think I'm all that funny. I'm not good to try and be funny. Whenever I'm funny, it's just, I don't know, I'll just say something or do something that I think people think are funny.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I don't always necessarily.
You're funny. You got some funny things. I don't know any stand-up comics, so I don't know how funny you're supposed to be if you're a stand-up comic, but
I can't make a joke though.
I think probably the two funniest people I know are probably Jacob and my brother Anthony. Anthony's freaking hilarious.
Anthony's so funny.
But his Jacob's like they've got two different styles of like funniness. Like Jacob's got more of a, I don't know, thought, almost like a reserved, like kind of like I don't weird like sly banter, while Anthony's is like off the cusp, like quick-witted, like just random funniness. Like they're completely two different things. So
it's definitely a character though. Like
yeah,
it's how he
thought you were gonna
feels,
put me in there. Talking. You got my hopes up. You're like two funniest people I know. Right after, like after saying like you're funny, you're like two funniest people I know are Jacob and Anthony. I was like, okay.
Suck it, Chan. No, Chan, you're funny too.
It's too late now.
Top five. Top five. Top five.
I was gonna throw him in the top 10. So,
wow, thank you.
I see. Yeah, Chan, there. You see where you stand with Noah.
I mean, that's probably a lie because I don't know that many people. So,
that's even worse.
There's no way he's in
even
the top.
worse. You've made it.
He's like competing against 3 other people. He's got to be top 4 by default.
Digging a hole over there.
Hand me the spade, baby. Here I go.
He's going to work.
Guy's talking about finding gold.
Get his lunch pail.
Down here.
Yeah. Good. Glad that I'm so highly thought of in the humor department here.
He's funny.
They're fun.
I'm all right.
No, speaking of being funny, I have been tweeting out a lot of one-liners that I watched some Mitch Hedberg like a week ago, and I had like a bout of inspiration, and I just sat down and
a couple of them.
I wrote a ton of one-liners. Some of them are awful. I mean, just bad. So I've only tweeted out a few of the good ones that I've had.
Just crank them out.
I've only got like a couple more good ones left. So
I quit my job at the scissors factory because it just wasn't cut out for it.
I wasn't cut out for it. Yeah, that was a good one.
Did you? Yeah, you saw my reply. Did you see the actual punchline?
The shitty zoo or a shit zoo?
What do you call a zoo with only one dog? A shit zoo.
Yeah.
As in the dog, and then it's a shit zoo.
Yeah. I guess could write them for popsicles.
That's what my fucking votes are.
That's what it sounds like.
A little quick, dry humor. That's what Mitch Hedberg was. He was just the king of one-liners. So, one of my favorite one from him is I went to the doctor the other day. All he did was suck blood from me. Don't go to Dr. Acula. freaking love that one.
Yeah. Those are good.
Yeah.
Get yourself a golf clap there.
That was Mr. Mitch there. That was him.
I don't know. I think my top. I'm really into Mike Birbiglia. I just like the way he has like his whole show set up and his delivery of jokes.
I saw Mike Birbiglia recently in a terrible movie called like The Soup Brothers or something, where it was produced for China, and then Mike Birbiglia was one of the dubs, and I didn't even notice. It was bad. It was a Weinstein production in like 2016. I just brought it up, and I was like, no way he's in here, and it stunk that much. They had like him, Meryl Streep, and someone else. They had 3 like names that I recognize. So that means they're pretty big, and it blew. Anyway,
it happens. Not all of them are winners.
Yeah, it was just all over the place.
Not all of them winners. We were pretty huge into Louis C.K. and wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's still doing stand up.
Is he?
Yeah. He hasn't put any new specials out though.
Yeah. I don't know if anybody will watch him.
I don't know if anyone's really going to sign on with him, honestly. Yeah. That's the big deal, is the distributor.
He really messed up.
Yeah.
I mean, you
could probably...
He likes to masturbate in front of people. Odd.
It's a unique thing.
It's odd.
Yeah. I would say you're not off the mark with that one.
That it's unique.
Yeah.
Or odd.
Yeah.
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 It's different.
Yeah.
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 Very odd.
All right. Want to move on?
Do you think he listens to Michael Jackson's "Beat It" a lot?
All right.
So I was like, you want to move on? And Chan's like, no.
Bring it back in and make it worse.
Can we talk about something else? No. I'm talking about it.
Hey, look, you know.
I mean, it was
All right.
popular
so-
during its
so-
time. So
He choked his chicken,
yeah.
All right. So
beat his meat,
we talked about what was new.
dresses
with
up as a
Kate.
butcher for Halloween, so he could beat his meat.
We're trying to move this thing into another sector, but Chan just keeps winging it back.
He's got
What
it
is-
tied up like a cow.
Go ahead and go. You know?
What
What's
is
the
what
next
is
one?
Do
new?
it.
No, what is new with you? Let's get into something else. No, have you gotten yourself into something interesting lately?
You know, I think like at least half of our entire podcast time, we've been doing this remodel, and
Yeah.
I've never talked about it
You have
on the
not.
podcast.
You have not.
Yeah, not once. I've
Not a
just been
single-
waiting
not
to
a
be
single
like
time.
segued. Like,
This is your time. This is your
Yeah.
chance.
So yeah, that started, and it's taking 2 rooms and basically knocking that down and then putting in a half bath in this one big room now. So now it's like a very large living room. And so that's nice. Like I said, this wall is down, which used to have a pocket door in it. Now it no longer does. There's a bunch of like really cool stuff, you know, with an old house. So in that wall there was a you know, something that wasn't cool. I guess I'll start with first is lath and plaster. So that's like 1920s material, and it has horsehair. And then the other thing that
God.
isn't cool is like original knob and tube. And then I started watching videos about it, like how to remove it and stuff. And one video was just like purely educational on what it is, and it was like the exact same stuff. And the guy got done talking about it, and he said, and this stuff is now in the museum at the Edison Museum, like somewhere else. And it's like, shit, the stuff power in this house is in museums.
Like, why do I gotta go to a museum? I've got it right here.
Yeah, why, just open up my walls. There it is, old shit just flying out. The horses that haven't been alive for years, their cells are in here.
Do you know who probably would have been good to talk to for the whole knob and tube thing? I know he would. He messed with knob and tubes a lot, especially in front of girls. Was Louis C.K. He would play with his knob and tube.
Oh my fucking
I was
god!
waiting for it.
For a little-
After you started stuttering, I was like, "Oh, he's bringing
He's bringing it back, wrestling her back. Oh my god! For the people who don't know what Louis C.K. is, they're going to be really confused.
Yeah. So the other thing that was actually cool, just to see
people
it,
who were
wasn't
born
an
in like
asshole.
2020 maybe, who don't know what that any of the references to Louis C.K.
No,
Yeah.
keep going.
So there was a gas pipe which was fed from the basement on up, and it would actually go into the middle of one room, and so that was most likely a gas lamp, and we previously kind of fixed in a new lighting fixture into that gas lamp. So anyway, that was cool. So that wall came down, a new wall went up along the entire median of this house, so that way you can put in outlets. So there's outlets all along this wall now.
Oh, they're not on the floor?
Nope. No floor outlets anymore. Yep. That's how you can tell your house is pretty old for electricity too. And then whole new ceiling. That looks really nice compared to the other one. And then the half bath is up, and it's a good size. So that's going to be nice. It's just going just before the hallway to the stairs.
You already have the toilet in and everything, the sink too?
No, toilet's on standby. We're waiting for paint, which is probably going to come up this week. I just got done doing a decent bit of sanding, almost done with that job before we took off, Chandler and I, to go golfing. And so, yeah, after you get it to like that high of a finish, it starts feeling nice, and you start to get another second wind. That's for sure.
You're gonna want to try and get all that dust off of there before you prime. I believe you kind of want those as cleaned up as you can.
Yeah,
that way the paint sticks to it.
Yeah, I was going over with a damp cloth to get off some of that dust, and then what I noticed is that it could also kind of reactivate some of that plaster and help.
Do you have any compressed air? Maybe.
You could really get it with a cloth.
Damp cloth is all you need.
Yeah. I got a damp cloth and a mop, so it works pretty easily for the ceiling.
You know,
I was proud of myself when I brought that out.
Louis C.K. would have a damp cloth after meeting with some women.
Yeah, he would.
I imagine he would. I tell you, I'm excited to see it when it's even whatever state of completion it is. Whenever
I don't think you'd be happy to see Louis C.K.'s damp cloth, because that would be an awkward situation for you.
What if I asked for it? You never know. If I asked for it, maybe I would have been happy. I don't know. Probably not. But
hey, can I masturbate in front of you?
I most likely would say no.
Isn't that kind of like the point too?
What?
Is that they say no or something?
I thought they said yeah. I thought they said yeah. They said yeah, we can, awkward. But they felt like it was pressured because he was like super famous at the time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that was what the deal was.
But whatever. I got no problem saying no to anyone around me. No.
Especially with
that. What the hell's wrong with you?
Yeah, like what the fuck? No. That's disgusting, you fucking pig.
I mean, honestly, I would probably say it's like, I'm just gonna like leave. I'll be back.
I'm gonna take a walk.
How long do you need? 10 minutes? 5 minutes?
15 minutes.
So you've probably learned a lot from just redoing this living room. All of the just some tricks and stuff to deal with the home improvements.
Oh yeah.
Maybe haven't come across before.
No, I think just chalk it up to basically going on to YouTube, finding someone that doesn't look like they're kind of hooky, and then going off of that stuff and not being afraid to watch more than one video. That's my tip, really.
YouTube.
Like a lot of times they have sponsored stuff from like Lowe's and Home Depot, and they'll break down a lot of things. And then of course there's like all of Ask This Old House. If they happen to cover something around, your topic, that's good to go. And then like there's a few guys where you can tell they're contractors and they really break it down. They have good editing too. But every now and again, there's just that guy who's like been doing it for a while, and you can tell. And he might not have the best production value, but
you know what the fuck he's talking about.
Yeah, you know that he's not bullshitting you just by the way he kind of goes about it. Has a lot of experience.
That's pretty cool. How far out do you think it'll be until you're completely done?
Well, there's a lot of like little things. Chandler's definitely excited to help on the trim, and what he's been doing is some great work. It's lifted. This trim didn't look like anything worth having, and now it looks like it's pretty much refurbished wood that you go buy yourself. So that's a big job.
Sanding it down, or
well, he can tell you about that.
So I got a citrus stripper, which is just like it's just a stripper, because I don't know what they put on it. I don't know if it's a stain or what, but I put that on there. That sits for about an hour, maybe. Then I scrape that off, and then I sand it 180 grit, maybe 180 grit, maybe a little bit higher than that. And then I'll take a tack cloth to it or vacuum over it to get all the dust and everything off. And then I got, I think it's called golden oak stain. Is what I got because they wanted something that looked like aged oak type, and when oak typically ages as it sits, it turns into like a golden hue. So they wanted something more dark like that. But the stain or whatever they had on the previous really soaked into the actual grain. So that's super dark. And then you got that golden oak that kind of just pops everything. So that's what I've been doing for them. Not recently, just because I've done a couple big pieces and I don't want them just to sit downstairs new, gather dirt and dust and get dinged up as I walk around and do stuff. So I'm waiting for them to finish up, and then I'm just going to tackle each thing like individually and kind of work around that way.
Mm-hmm.
I think that would be better.
But the pieces look great. Chandler's been doing a great job as
I'm sure he has. He's always been pretty handy with wood, so.
Oh yeah, working with the wood has been very impressive.
Not so as handy as Louis C.K. is with wood.
Yep.
I knew it was coming.
There's floorboard, and I'm going to be impressed if he brings it back. And so we're going to have to buy that too. But fixtures and stuff.
New floorboard? You guys are getting new floorboards?
Yeah, that floor is just kind of beaten. And needs filled in.
Especially now after the reno.
Damn it. Oh, okay. Really? You weren't going to use beaten?
I mean, it's not as beaten as bad as Louis C.K.'s penis is in front of a girl, but
I mean, no, you were asking for that one.
I thought I tripped into it, and I was very surprised, and then I just said do it.
You know who else was surprised? All the females when Louis C.K. asked if you could masturbate in front of them.
Oh my god! Stop.
Okay. Yeah. So other than that, it's
our grandma listens to this.
She does not need that in her ears. She does not need to listen to this.
Had enough of it now. She's every time it's come up, it's probably cringed.
What it is. And if you don't know, Louis C.K. masturbated in front of a bunch of girls. It was an awkward situation.
I think it's pretty clear to her now what has happened.
She's actually pretty into comedy, so I think she probably does know.
Probably does now.
I wouldn't be surprised.
Be honest,
she probably does.
Yeah. Other than that,
she probably didn't need to be reminded of it so many times, but
that's true.
Hey, she's a grown lady. She doesn't need any of this explained to her. My mom didn't know what bukkake was, and so I explained that to her. God. And I think, just the best way possible, which was a toaster strudel, Mom, and how you get the white cream on that.
Now that's a good joke.
You
could write that up, and that'll be you can open mic that is I just got one.
I just got
one.
We were playing Cards Against Humanity, and one of the cards had bukkake, and my mom's like, "What's bukkake?" And I was like, "Mom, you know how you have a toaster strudel, and you get the white icing, and you kind of just smear it, and it doesn't look nice how they do it in the commercials. It's you kind of just end up smearing it all over. It's like that, but the white icing is cum, and it's 80 different guys on one girl's face.
Godly.
And then you just walk off. You say everyone tip the bartender and walk off.
Jess, she's laughing her ass off because she was playing with us. She thought it was hilarious.
Well, was it a Words with Friends or something? Scrabble?
It was Cards Against Humanity.
Not Words with Friends.
I don't know.
Yeah.
It was Cards Against Humanity. I think you were there, Landis.
What? I mean, the joke does sound very familiar to me. I didn't know I was there for it, though.
Yeah, because Anthony was there.
Did I play? I don't think I've played Cards of Humanity with you before.
Yes, you have.
You sure I wasn't at work or something?
Jessica typically brings it to all the family, Christmas, Halloween, and all that stuff.
Do that pretty recently. Yeah, consistent.
It's a solid family game.
Huh.
spices things up compared to the typical whatever we'd play. Like the same. Where you gotta
you don't like playing apples to apples. What's wrong with apples to apples? You don't like apples to apples?
Cards Against Humanity is apples to apples. It's just for adults. It's the same game just for adults. It's got lewd humor in it.
Lewd.
All right, so we've asked me what's new. We've asked Noah what's new. Now, Chan, what's new with you?
Nothing really, just working. Got school coming up soon.
Oh, yeah,
Don't really want to go back to school. I'm done with school. I just want to work full time.
You got one semester left?
Yeah, last semester.
Hell yeah. Hell
I graduate. I'm done with it for
forever. Finally.
Never going back to school.
Finally.
Never going back. Burdened to the ground.
I've already asked Landis what he thought of my my bio, but I think I hit it out of the park on this last one here. Have you read our bio, Noah, for the last episode?
No. I gotta watch or listen to more of the stuff that we make. I gotta get over listening to myself.
Spotify doesn't do a good job. Spotify just kind of takes like the whole like whatever you put in there for like description of whatever and kind of just smushes it. But like Google Podcasts will keep the same. Yeah. Google Podcasts will keep it the same, and Podbean obviously keeps it the same. But I want to read this to you. I was pretty proud of it. So it goes, "Hello again. On the podcast with us is another special guest, Jacob Bagel. We talk about his career and also reminisce in some precious moments of the past as young adolescent teens. The move, I put the move, but it's supposed to be movie. Jacob mentioned the Pelican Bar can be found here, and then I left a link to that. Enjoy the rest of your day, loves. Nothing more to see here. Go away. Listen to the podcast and close your eyes. Stop reading. Stop, but spelled out STOP. And then below that, you continue to read, huh? Well, if you want to read, then read this. DARE was founded in 1983 and has proven so successful that it has been implemented in thousands of schools throughout the United States and 50 plus other countries. And then underneath of that, that's straight from the DARE website. And then right below that, a paper wrote in June 2004, published in in the journal AMJ Published Health, stated this: our results confirm the findings of a previous meta-analysis indicating that Project DARE is ineffective. Citations.
There.
I citated. Put my citations there. The 2 quotes.
Yeah. Yep.
I thought that was funny. I like that.
No.
I thought it was funny
I like
too.
that DARE had on their thing that it was like been proven effective in thousands of schools. Blah blah blah. Like, no, you haven't. Nope. Stop lying. It's not effective.
I do like how random it was.
Want to do drugs?
Yeah, you're introducing them to everything. You're saying you can't do this, and guess what they're gonna do?
Yeah, I don't want to touch the stove.
Yeah, it's like
just like me and Tusk.
If it's so bad, it's so bad. What's so bad about it?
I distinctively remember like talking about some drug. I don't know what it was, but they were trying to scare me out of it, and then eventually I just went like, "That's not so bad." Like right there in class, right to the officer, and she was like, "Really?" It's like, "Yeah, what you're describing to me is like, sure, like don't leave the house, but you should be good."
was it like shrooms or something? Shrooms or like
I think it was like either
LSD,
shrooms, LSD, or like marijuana. I don't know. A lot of people with marijuana really didn't care after they heard it, but like I distinctively remember on one of the drugs just saying right to the officers like, that doesn't sound that bad.
Yeah.
I'm like the fat nerd right there, just talking up. It's like, oh shit.
Sound too bad at all.
I take
Like,
that.
I didn't do anything.
I know what Noah's going to do in retirement. He's going to be sitting in his house, just freaking high on shrooms.
I would do LSD, like,
I actually saw
after you're so old.
Yeah, no, I mean, I saw legislation or something that's trying to make medicinal shrooms legal now. So we're moving into that realm of things.
I think you
Well,
just got to legalize
psychedelics
all
really-
drugs. Just legalize them all.
them all.
Legalize them all.
Yeah,
That's a very
just
libertarian
stop.
point of view.
Just stop the. I think it helps. One, you're no longer fighting a war on drugs.
Taxes.
Two, you could tax them
You
if
get
you
more
want. You
taxes.
can make money.
You stop spending as many taxes.
I think at the
Three,
very least.
a lot of gang violence goes away. A lot of gangs that are, all these smuggled in drugs from Mexico are no longer getting smuggled in
Kind of break.
I mean,
because we just got legalized drugs here.
Marijuana is, yeah, absolutely. I agree with you there. But like, it's a completely different story with heroin and meth, and like, I mean, coke's not that bad, but it can lead into further things. But heroin and meth really,
heroin.
Those things fuck people up though. Like I would not want to legalize
they're
that.
illegal and people still do them. So legalizing them is not going to change anything. It's illegal and people already do it. You legalize it though, less people are going to die from it.
I would say less people do it because it's illegal though. When you make it legal, people are going to be like, all right, let's try it, and then there's going to be a lot more people hooked on it and ruining their lives.
I think the majority of people who do heroin get it because they get opioids that are prescribed to them from the doctor, and then that gets taken away, and so they go and get heroin because it's really cheap and it's an opioid.
That is true, but that doesn't make a point as to why it should be legal.
Are you saying it should only be illegal because it's extremely addictive?
I'm saying it should be illegal because it ruins people's lives. Like you become like the meth head, like your last dollar, everything you're stealing from your parents' house to be able to afford for your meth addiction, your heroin addiction. Like you're literally ruining your life over it.
And so you think if it's legal, more people are going to do it?
Why wouldn't they? If it's legal, it's like people will be like, all right, yeah, I might as well try it. There's no issue. There's nothing against me from doing it. Nothing stopping me.
Millions, probably billions of people smoke marijuana. It's illegal. Do you think
marijuana
that
and heroin are completely different?
But the only thing I'm saying is
addictive capacity.
I'm not saying that they're the same thing. I'm just saying but why would they go
marijuana
and do that?
Doesn't ruin your life like heroin. Heroin fucking ruins your life.
I'm not saying it doesn't ruin your life. What I'm saying,
so why should more people have access to it then? Sorry. Because for tax purposes, we'll get more money from it.
Less people will die.
No.
Yeah.
Because now you just they'd probably have cleaner drugs, and people would know what they're injecting with.
Maybe
you could have them be going to specific places to shoot up, where they're going to be watched.
We've already discussed that. I'm okay with that.
You could have all those people then be registered. You're now essentially registering, and people know who's doing what.
Yeah, no, I'm okay
if you
with
want to do those drugs. That'll all get registered.
I'm okay with injection spots at state-sponsored facilities where people can be watched. You know what's going in there, but like completely just legalizing heroin and saying, all right, the floodgates are open. Everybody, go ahead and try it. Go ahead and get some.
I don't think too many people would.
I just don't think. Yeah, they're going to be that open.
I mean, you guys are we're a small portion of the population.
People can still get a hold of it, and people still know what it is. I mean, how do people in suburban households get to know where heroin is after they're done with their opiate prescriptions? Like, it's accessible. It doesn't even take like much street knowledge if a lot of people from suburban families are able to get a hold of it. I'm sure if you just ask around and, you know, look for the right people, maybe hang out in the right crowd, just take a stab, and not
At that point, you're already ruining your life. So
yeah,
you're already
but
going down that
it's
path.
not like people can't try already, is what I'm saying.
Yeah, but there's a barrier.
People try
There's
it
a
all
big
the time.
barrier.
Is
Like
is it?
Yeah, that's a barrier. It takes effort to go out and do it. Like right now, like I can't just freely go
We
buy
just talked
marijuana.
about marijuana.
Like I
Yeah,
freely
but
can't
like
go buy it.
it
Like
still has the
I
same
might know
penalty.
people who are able to get it to me, but like that's still like a barrier to me. Like I can't just go to the grocery store and pick up a packet or a packet of heroin. You know,
But it
like
doesn't stop you
You
from
can't go to
trying
the grocery
marijuana.
store and get a packet of marijuana.
in Colorado, you can. Well, not at the grocery store, but you know
In
the same thing.
Colorado, but we're not in
Oh.
Colorado.
We're talking about legalizing drugs here. So if you can make the small minor jump of saying I can go to the gas station and buy some heroin if it's legal, then you know
Or a
it's
distillery
you're
or something.
you're adding the convenience factor to it. And if you're telling me that more people aren't going to try it just because of the convenience factor, then you're fucking crazy.
Well, I believe there's been states that have legalized all, or at least countries that have legalized all drugs.
I think people are still inherently scared of heroin.
Most people will. I'm not saying everybody's going to go try it. I'm just saying there's going to be a lot more people who do than there are currently, and there already is a lot.
Yeah, sure, maybe. It's definitely possible. I'll give you that. Like, but I don't think it's going to be as big of an issue as what's already out there.
I mean, Portugal, they decriminalized all drugs, and now hardly anyone dies from overdosing. So that's a positive. I mean, all of it is decriminalized: heroin, cocaine, marijuana. I guess they just treat it now more as a health issue. Drugs are still illegal, of course, but now getting caught with them meant a small fine and maybe a referral to a treatment program, not jail time and a criminal record.
See, I would be much more for that, though. Like, I'm okay with that. That's what I would prefer.
But that's still legal if you get referred to a clinic. Like, you didn't get anything on your record. You
It's
don't have to
not
pay
like
a fine.
that's a version
You
of
didn't do any
legalizing.
time.
That's a version of it. It's not like what I'm
Okay.
suggesting, where you can just go to the grocery store and pick it up. Like,
It's
if
not
you
going to
have
be
to
in a
go,
grocery store, though.
I'm saying
Even
like
in
a
Colorado,
store.
you can't go to a grocery
Yeah.
store
I'm
and get
saying like a store
marijuana.
down the road. Okay, it's
Amsterdam,
convenient.
you can't even
I'm
go to the
saying
grocery store and get
it's.
marijuana. You have to go to a coffee shop.
I'm saying it's convenient. I'm not saying you, like in this situation in Portugal, you have to go to a clinic or something, and you have to inject it
You
there.
don't have to
Like,
go to a clinic. They just
what-
refer you to a clinic if you're caught with it.
okay,
I don't know where they get it.
Same thing.
I would
You're
still
not
like
the
it.
same
buying
thing.
You're not
Like-
buying it from a store.
Yeah, but you
It'll
still
be
don't know
safer
about the
from a
quality
store,
of the
though.
heroin and stuff. You know?
A lot of people are dying
an
from
issue.
heroin overdoses
People
because
shouldn't
it's
be doing it
tainted.
in the first place. But
People
Oh,
shouldn't
yeah,
be doing a
I'm
lot.
not
People
saying
shouldn't be
you should
smoking
do it.
cigarettes, yet they still smoke cigarettes.
yeah, I mean, it's
Yeah.
not going to stop them.
No. The only thing is I don't see a lot of people going out of their way like, oh, heroin's illegal now, I'm just going to go do heroin. If anything, you might now pharma agencies might lower the price of their drugs for people to get. It might be cheaper instead of paying.
I just don't like
You know,
it. You're going to start
arm and a
seeing.
handful
You're going to start
for
seeing heroin
$100.
ads. Your kids are going to
Just go
start
do
growing up in
heroin.
a world. Your kids are going to start growing up in a world where heroin's attainable.
You're not going to see heroin ads. You don't even see.
We
You don't even see
get
cigarette
like
ads
cigarette
anymore.
ads.
It's
Yeah.
going to be a part of. It's going to be a part of life, and people are going to be
It's
growing up
already
with
a
it.
part of life.
It's
Kids already
not.
grow up with it.
It's not a
Is
legal
there?
part of life. It's illegal. It's still. You can't tell me it's not a black market thing. It's not a legal thing. Like
I'm not-
it's not something
And
that you
still
shouldn't be
millions
doing.
of people do it.
When you
And
legalize
hundreds of thousands
something,
of people are doing it and dying.
listen, when you legalize something, you're attaching a sort of it's okay to do this kind of feeling to it, you know? Like
Okay,
that's
instead of legalizing it,
connotation. That's a connotation that goes with legalizing. Am I right?
Okay. Instead of legalizing, we could just decriminalize it, where you just get a slap on the wrist and say, "Hey, why don't you go here?"
I said I'm okay with that. I like
You're
that.
okay.
That's
It's
fine.
really the same fucking thing. But the only thing that I want is when you legalize
You were
it,
saying
you're
something about
now
taxing it, selling it and taxing it, and
you could
I,
tax
I
it.
don't I don't
The
want
only
to I
thing
don't
that
want
I
to
like,
sell it.
that I really, really like about legalizing, at least when it comes to heroin, is that you're giving people actually good stuff. A lot of people are dying because they get tainted stuff because they're buying it from the street.
Yeah, that's fine.
It's
Do
like
it in a
crack
do it
You
in a
also now
do
have
it in a
gangs
state approved
that are now
facility.
making it and selling it and making a huge profit off it, and now you have gang violence because of it. You now have that going into streets. You now have people trying to sell it to kids, actively trying to sell it to kids because it's in the street.
But that hasn't changed. But like I said, the legalizing has the connotation of it's okay to do this. But decriminalizing it, I'm okay with that.
You can legalize it and make it so only 18-year-olds can get it or something like that.
You're still adding a sense of connotation, a good connotation to it at that point. Like,
Not necessarily good, just that you just decriminalizing it. How is decriminalizing and legalizing that big of a difference to say that
so if I
it's not going to
decriminalize
be?
murder, it's not that bad. It's like, oh, you shouldn't do it, but you know what? You're allowed to do it.
Murder is bad.
So is doing heroin.
Well, not really. I mean, like murder infringes on someone else's rights, which is namely their right to life. What does heroin infringe on someone else's rights?
It's a freaking. They don't have control over themselves after they use it. It ruins their lives.
So they
You just
commit
That's the
crimes
choice that they
after.
make.
the person giving it to
Those
them
are still crimes.
committing crime, giving it to them, ruining their lives.
They're freely taking and doing something with their body. So
After the
they're not.
first time, okay, maybe it was their choice, but after that, it's not their choice.
If you're
So
just
why
speaking
isn't it
purely
their
on an
choice?
addiction thing,
Hmm.
are you just speaking purely that they don't want to do it anymore and it's just the addiction that wants it now?
Partly, I can't speak for all of them, but I do know the addiction, at least with heroin and meth, is fairly.
It's high.
Yeah.
It's an extremely addictive substance.
You can't say that it's just their choice. I mean, at least the first time, yeah. And even then, like you said, it is prescribed most of the time for injuries and stuff. And at that point,
Used to.
it's something they lead into.
Yeah. No, I still think it's your choice, even if you are addicted. I mean, you have the choice to either go out, go get more heroin, or recognize that you're being led by your addiction and go seek
I think
therapy.
it's not that easy.
I mean, like, sure, it's gonna be hard, but people are still addicted to other things. Like, I mean, a lot of people don't want to admit that they have something such as simple as like a sugar addiction, right?
Yeah.
And so, you can do the same thing. You can either admit that you don't have a sugar, you have a sugar addiction and keep eating yourself into death, diabetes, and so
stop
on.
eating sugar, then
Or
you
you can like
have a
go on
nap.
a diet and get some help.
You stop eating sugar, you might have a nap. You stop taking heroin, you're going to be sick for a week.
Yeah, heroin's actually the shakes and the shivers and everything. It's a pretty violent downfall compared to anything else.
Once you start
There's
going,
people
it's so hard to come back.
from what I've seen, there's people who are literally afraid of the withdrawals. It's a literal fear because it can be so bad.
Exactly.
Yeah, I understand that. I mean,
unlike
even
any
like
other thing.
decriminalizing and regulating it, you can put more warnings on this thing and make people more aware of what can happen.
Even with
Like,
that
what
being
if
the
you
case,
had to
though,
like sit through an 8-hour movie of like someone going and like visibly going through withdrawals or something? That'd probably scare the shit out of someone.
maybe. I mean, my idea was like if you get heroin, you have to go to a specific place. You have to shoot up there. With that, you're getting told multiple times. They also got therapy doctors on site to make sure that nothing bad happens and that person can shoot up and then go about their day. But they're also getting all the information, the addictive nature of it, how it can ruin your life, and everything.
Yeah.
Plus, on top of that, they also have therapy there to try
that
and help
wouldn't be
get these
bad.
people out. But I do want to say, I talked about in a previous episode, I think our system and how we treat addicted people and trying to help them is actually it's shit here, at least in America.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I mean,
I don't like just throwing them in jail and saying, "Oh yeah, now you're all better," because you were caught with a felony amount of drugs. Like that's you're actually probably worse at that point. You might fall into a prison gang and become involved in that.
What's hard though is that even within people who've gotten clean don't necessarily agree on how to do it. There's drugs out there that can give you like the heroin high, but they're not supposed to be addictive, or they're supposed to take away the chills or the shakes or whatever. I can't quite remember, but some people don't like that. Some people say, no, you just got to go cold turkey, and that's the way you got to do it. You know, you can't be giving your body a drug when you're trying to get rid of a drug. It just doesn't make sense, but I don't know. I don't know what the best way is to go about these things.
Yeah,
I wouldn't mind decriminalizing it in the sense. All I want to do is I want to take the gang violence out of it, and that's why I just say legalize, because no longer are you fighting over something that's legal. You're not going to be trucking in all this crap. You're not going to try and be spreading it on the streets or anything like that, because now you're competing against everyone else who's making actual good shit that people won't die from. That's the biggest thing. You know, if I'm buying it off the street, I'm taking a huge risk that I'm going to die because they tainted it with whatever. And that's what I'm putting into my veins.
Yeah,
there's that. You also got the gang violence of and the street.
I just don't want to see it. I just don't want to be, like I said, I just don't want to see it being sold in convenient locations. That's exactly.
I very much want it to be in a place where it's a specific place that you have to go to, and you're getting everything put down. Like this is, marijuana is not bad. You can do marijuana, blah blah blah, be okay. You can do cocaine. That's known as a businessman's drug. A lot of people do cocaine and go about their day. Sure, some people take it way overboard, but I think a lot of people can do just fine. I mean, you got high functioning alcoholics. I'm sure there's high functioning cocaine addicts.
Wall Street businessmen.
Yeah, Wall Street businessmen. They got to stay up till that bell closes. I think it's safer if you legalize the stuff. Legalize. I'll put that in quotations.
I'm much more on board with that than like when you say like legalize, I'm thinking like full out like beer, like I can just go buy it at the grocery store. Like that's what my first thought goes to when you say it like that. So I'm happy. I
want a little bit more regulation. I'm down for that, but I want it to be produced clean.
Yeah, no, that's
and at the very least, at least inspected and take a sample.
Because these are a lot of people take drugs and do drugs. Some of it legal that's prescribed through a doctor that a lot of people get addicted to. Vicodin, Percocets, fucking whatever for ADHD is also. It's like cocaine essentially.
It's like meth.
Or meth. I guess meth. Yeah. But it's legal. Just got to get it through a doctor.
Whew. Yeah. Oh, these things are tart. All right. Well,
it's 11 o'clock, fellas. 11.
We've rolled on pretty well. It's been it's been a pretty good podcast. We touched on a lot of topics. So
we got into it there at the end.
Yeah, we did. We had a little bit of fire going. That's probably the most heated debate. Those are probably our most heated debate on here.
I wouldn't be opposed to doing more of those.
No, I wouldn't be either. We got into that one.
Yep. So I definitely got a wild funk on my microphone there. Are we ready to sign off then?
I think so. I think it is about that
All
time.
right, it's about that time to get rid of Craig. Get
See you later,
hell out of
Craig.
here,
out
Craig.
of here, Craig.
Get out of here, Craig. Bye.
Bye.